Hey there, Photo Universe. Okay, so I've been banging on about how Pentax announcing the full frame pretty much killed the APS-C cells. And then I went out and bought 3 new Pentax limited DA lenses in APS-C. What's up with that? Well, a couple of things. First of all, I think what's happened is the US dollar has strengthened, and I don't think that's true at all. I think the economy still sucks here in the United States. I think what happened is the rest of the world's doing much worse. Japan and Europe are doing worse than the US economy, and or the US dollar. And so the US dollar is really strong right now, or the Japanese yen and the euro are really weak right now, which is a better way, I think the correct way to look at it. And so that's one thing. And also I think that maybe the announcement of the full frame kind of did like kill Pentax sales. And Pentax said, okay, you know what, there's a full frame coming. Let's do away with the minimum advertised pricing. You sell the stuff for whatever you want. So, so I figured out the kit that I've wanted for a long time. And basically, any of my travel landscape stuff, and pretty much everything except for maybe like contract weddings or contract sports, you know, but the majority of things that I want to shoot for my personal shooting, which is most of what I shoot, the fun stuff, is basically, I boiled it down to this 3-lens kit. The 4-lens kit that I was contemplating was the 15, 21, 40, and 70 DA Limiteds. And for some reason, I always overlooked the 20 to 40. And that's what this video is about, mainly, is the 20 to 40. I always overlooked the 20 to 40 2.8 f4 zoom limited WR. So it's a weather-resistant limited zoom. It's kind of a very interesting lens. Right now, it's one of a kind. It's the only one, it's the only limited zoom that Pentax Ricoh makes. But once that came into focus and I realized like that's an interesting lens, I should take a harder look at that, then the whole system kind of gelled for me. I've shot the limiteds before. I've shot the 15, 21, I didn't have the 40, I had the 35 macro, and I shot the 77 FA limited as sort of a 4-lens kit. And a 4-lens kit was kind of, I don't know, it was weird. I actually had it in this bag too. The 4-lens kit, it was always like one lens too many, even though that they were small. The 20 to 40, so now I'm going to get into the 20 to 40 here a little bit. Well, before I do that, what did I pick up? I picked up a 15mm HD, I picked up a 70mm HD limited, and I picked up the 20 to 40 2.8 f4 limited. Weather-resistant ED, DA, WR, EIEIO. Okay, and so what the 20 to 40 did for me, and when I really started contemplating the 20 to 40, I started reading the reviews, and it kind of made me nervous because, like, particularly the review on PentaxForums.com is real iffy. It's like it's a marginal lens. I wasn't too impressed. They said it wasn't up to the prime limited qualities. So I was like, that's interesting. And then if you read the user reviews on Pentax forums, it's like some people are saying like, I don't know what they're on about. I've got a great one. It's as good as the 31 FA limited. And I don't use my 31 FA limited anymore. I use my 20 to 40. And I was like, you know, that's worth taking a chance on, because I think what happened is, we're getting strafed here, jeez. Okay, so, you know, I said the 2040, I got to take a look at that. You know, it's worth getting a copy and testing it and seeing if I get a bad copy or if I get a good copy. Hopefully I get one that replaces the 21, 31, 35, 40 in terms of quality. And that's what happened. I mean, quite honestly, after testing this lens, I don't know what happened with the Pentax Forums review. I would highly recommend that Pentax Forums redo their review. I think they got a bad sample. Yeah, I've owned the 21 the 31, the 35. I've never owned the 40. This lens is as good as. I need to specifically test this lens at 20 millimeter 2.8. I did it kind of casually. The corners looked okay without specifically testing for the corners. That's supposed to be one of the weak areas. If even the reviews who said it was a great lens said that at 20 millimeter and 2.8 in the extreme corners, it can be a little soft. I haven't seen anything out of this lens so far, and I've shot about 150 pictures, just a lot of them just trying to test it. I haven't seen any photographs where anything was not sharp, and that's at 100% on the K3. So this lens is, yeah, it's a limited lens. Now let's talk about something else here. Why the limiteds? They have a certain picture quality. There's a color and a contrast, a color saturation. The three pillars of image quality are resolution, sharpness, contrast, and color saturation. Okay, those are the three pillars of lens quality. Like the Tamron 17 to 50 is a very sharp lens. It's adequately saturated, but it's not like these limited lenses. Okay, these limited lenses give you that. I mean, when I shoot these limited lenses, it's like I want to shoot stuff just to see what the lens does, just to go, wow, look at that, look what the lens did. It, you know, if you haven't shot a limited lens, I highly recommend you try one. They can be somewhat addicting. The reason why I picked these up, and let's get into it, let's talk about it, is right now the pricing is irresistible. These were $650. The 15 was $650, $700, $650. The 70 was like $600, $700. This was $1,000, the 20 to 40. Right now you can get the 20 to 40 in the U.S. I don't know about the rest of the world. You guys, I feel sorry for you. I don't know what's going on here. But you can pick up a 20 to 40 in the U.S. for $695 with free shipping on Amazon. And let's talk about another thing. I think a lot of people don't understand Amazon Prime. If it's like a third party but fulfilled by Amazon Prime, that's no problem. But it must be fulfilled by Amazon Prime. In other words, it comes from an Amazon warehouse, because you get the great Amazon return policy with that. Okay, so that's okay. Now, third party that's not fulfilled by Amazon, I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. So that's my recommendations on that. All of these were through ME Photo on Amazon, fulfilled by Amazon.com, and you know, we're talking $495 for the 15 and the 70, and $695 for the 2040. You can't resist that. I couldn't resist that. So okay, enough about those two. The 20 to 40 is what I'm talking about here now. So what I realized with this is that, so I never really liked the 21 and the 35 and then those normal focal lengths and switching back and forth. And it is a bigger lens with a 55 millimeter front filter thread. But it's okay. It's small enough and light enough on the K3 where it's not a problem. It's just that much smaller than the 17 to 50 where you don't mind carrying it around. It does fit in the small camera bag, and that's awesome. So in this camera bag, I've got my K3 with my 20 to 40, I got my 15, and I got my 70. Done. Done deal. And you're talking maybe 6-8 pounds for that camera bag. That's fantastic. That's my walk around. That's my landscape. That's my travel. You know, done. Pretty much Richard Bird, RB Pics, PICS.com. He does the 15, 21, 40, 70. And that's where he kind of gave me the idea for the idea of like just getting down to basics with the limiteds, you know. But for me, I like a 3-lens kit. Basically, it's 20 to 40, so it's kind of a wide angle, you know, medium wide angle to normal. And then if I need longer than that, I go 70. If I need wider than that, I go 15. Done. Simple process. One of the things I want to experiment with moving forward is I've got this B+W 10-stop filter. It's the B+W 10BL 1000X, and it's pretty much a 10-stop neutral density filter. You can barely see through it in full sunlight. This fits on my 15. So I've got the step ring that goes 49 to 77, and this will go on the 15, and I can do 10-stop time exposures with that. I'm really looking forward to utilizing that in the future. That's one of the reasons I bought the 15 was for that purpose. So the 20 to 40, it's got a DC, so it's really a departure. The 15 and the 70, the DA limiteds up until the 20 to 40 were all screw drive, okay? This 20 to 40 zoom is now got a silent DC, not SDM, motor in it. Some people in the reviews have complained that the autofocus is slow. It's not any slower than a 51.4 would be on a full frame. As a matter of fact, it's much faster. I don't have a problem with the autofocus speed. You know, I think it's perfectly adequate for the design specification of what this lens is supposed to do. Some people have complained about the limited zoom range. I don't see that either. I mean, this covers from 35 to 60. It's pretty much a fine-tunable normal lens. And, you know, sometimes you need to go to 35, which would be 20, and sometimes you need to go to 50, which would be about 35, and 40 is 60. It's really a nice normal zoom range. The bottom line comes down to you kind of need to know your focal lengths, okay? If you need a wide angle lens, you should have your 15 on. If you need a telephoto lens, you should have your 70 on, and if you need a normal lens, you should have your 20 to 40. Done. It's enough of a zoom range, I will say this, it's enough of a zoom range where quite honestly, and here's something as of middle of April 2015, I would not, at $695 for the 20 to 40 with the weather resistance, the HD coatings, the Pentax DC motor, and the speed and the integration and the contrast and the beautiful photographs from it, I would recommend the 20 to 40 over the 17 to 50 Tamron. For another $200, it's a no-brainer. There's no SDM issues. You know, just make sure you get a good copy. So, and I'm talking about for everything, for your all-around walk-around lens, with the one exemption that if you're shooting hardcore contract wedding work, you probably want the 2.8 at 50 instead of the f4. Because you know, it'd be nice to have the depth of field distinction there, although it's not that great. But I could see where you know, having the 17 to 50, if I were going to be doing a lot of weddings and portraits, the 17 to 50 with 2.8 would probably be a nice lens to have. If you do the occasional wedding, and you're not, I mean, if you're not doing 20 weddings a year, get the 20 to 40. No questions asked. All your photographs will be better. So yeah, I think a lot of those reviews are wrong. The copy of the lens that I have here is not like those ones in those reviews. I can highly recommend the 20 to 40 Pentax. This lens is a sleeper. I mean, for the longest time, when I first heard it, like 20 to 40, that's such a weird zoom range. It doesn't make any sense. It took me a while to even acknowledge that this lens existed. It was a weird mental, like, 20 to 40, I don't need that, boo, boring, useless. It turns out it's like my favorite lens. I think it's an amazing lens. So that's that. Again, you know, the 15 is a really interesting lens. Remember, the limited lenses from Pentax are APS-C, slow, small, high IQ, color saturation, contrast, and sharp. Okay, all three is the key. That's really something special. They're APS-C specific size lenses designed to be as small as they can be. No other manufacturer makes that. Not even Fuji with their X series. They're making, I mean, their lenses are smaller, but they're making really fast, heavy lenses that are big, okay? They're fast, heavy lenses specifically for APS-C, I get that, but they're not making small, slower lenses for APS-C. You know, and particularly the weather resistant and all that. So anyway, I haven't seen the Fuji 16 to 50 or their 50 to 135 or 140 or whatever it is. I have a feeling they're pretty big. So we'll see. And now with Pentax coming out with a full frame, we're going to get a 24 to 70 probably, 2.8. We got the 70 to 200 coming. Interesting. One other thing I want to say. So if I had known that in the end of April, Pentax was going to release a K3 Mark II in APS-C way before the full frame ever comes out, I wouldn't have made my last video saying, you know, it was ridiculous for Pentax to come. I mean, I still think it's kind of ridiculous for Pentax to announce the full frame a year before they're ever going to be on the shelves. That's stupid, but maybe, okay, my opinion. But the fact that they followed that up with the, you know, the impending release of the K3 Mark II kind of says, hey, you know, we're in the APS-C game for the long haul too. So that's reassuring as well. And then it makes you a little bit more confident to buy some APS-C stuff because Ricoh seems committed to APS-C and they're not just going to throw in the towel and go all full frame. So, okay, so that's that. I got a lot to say about that new K3 too also, but we'll let that go for when we actually know what it's all about and what the specs are and everything. So that's Ed with Photo Universe. If you're going to get the Budget Pro kit, don't get the 17 to 50 Tamron, get the Pentax 20 to 40. Awesome lens. Can't say enough good things about it. For the price and the quality, it's an A+ value. It really is cost effective, you know, fantastic. Pentax did a great job with that one. And who knows, man, you know, I'm starting to come around. I kind of was feeling like, oh, you know, I really love my Pentax gear and I'm going to shoot it till it all dies, but Pentax is kind of doomed. You know, now it's making more sense to me. Now I don't think Pentax is as doomed. I mean, we'll see. The next couple of releases are going to be big ones in terms of whether, you know, they're the long-term success or failure of this thing. But so far, so good. I think things are turning around. I'm pretty impressed. And now I got my travel kit put together. Got a trip coming up here in a couple of weeks to Moab, Utah. Again, Richard Bird, thanks for the write-up on that. I mean, you know, it makes it a lot easier to figure out where I'm going, what I'm going to do. And so there it is. All right, Photo Universe, this is Ed. Getting back up to speed with some serious Pentax glass here is what I'm doing. So kind of exciting. These are the prices where it should have been all along. So anyway, Ed with Photo Universe, have a good one. Thanks for watching.